AWP, a firm based in Paris and London. AWP is an award-winning practice that works across many genres and scales of architecture, urban design and planning, landscape design, pavilions, exhibitions, etc. All of the projects vary in context and scale, but have the same visions, namely hospitality, beauty, and innovative concentration between symbols and uses, and a renewed relationship between architecture and landscape. Their works include French Pavilion at Sao Paulo for Architectural Biennale, Lantern Pavilion in Lannes, the enlargement of a water purification plant, and a 230 LG strategic planning project in Geneva. They have exhibited work and lectured at various architectural venues across the world. Invisible Modern Architecture aims to examine the legacy and propose a forward-looking reuse of late modernist architecture, slab urbanism, underground infrastructure, and invisible structures. It takes on a topic of an urban thickness, slabs and deck typologies, centralizes criticism around the abandonment of natural reference in favor of abstract and artificial architecture. A warm welcome to Krivya. We are glad to invite you.
Hi, good morning everybody. Wow, that's a big crowd for us. I'm very, very pleased and honored to be here with so many people coming to watch our work. I'm Rio. I'm an architect living in Delhi since 4 years, and I work with Start India Foundation, an institution that some of you might have heard of. And I'm very pleased today to open this talk of the French practice AWP, which is very special to me because, you know, 10 years ago I started my career as an architect working in this office, and now inviting them in India to me is very nice. So I hope you will enjoy the work. I will just slightly introduce what we do at Start India Foundation. Some of you might have heard of what we do. So we're an NGO based in Delhi. We started in 2014 in Mumbai in the first event we did in Bandra. You might have seen some walls in Bandra because basically what we do is bringing art into the public space in India. And since 2014 we did many events in the country. The biggest one that you might have seen some pictures was in Delhi last year, where we did two big projects. One in Lodi Colony, which is a government housing estate where we did 25 walls with artists from all over the world. And it was an amazing experience for us. And we did a kind of temporary exhibition in a place in South Delhi, a very unknown place, although it's a strategic place on the container depot, where we invited the same artists to paint over 100 containers. So yeah, we set up this kind of project to unlock places in the city which are not known by the people living around, although they're like very important for the city. This year we're in Mumbai, so we have opened our exhibition in Sassoon Dock. Some of you might have seen some pictures, some of you might have even come to see us. If you have not, please come, we will give you tours. And this year what is a bit special for us is we started doing street art, in the sense that we invited street artists to paint walls in India. And as we grow as an organization, we want to engage more and more with the city and try to explore new ways to do projects with the city. So this year we invited many architects to work among street artists. In Sassoon Dock doing installation, we have Faizan Kadri, we have Art Collective, we have people which are not street artists as their prime background, but they're working towards something which is speaking about public space. So in this context we invited the French office, AWP, that will showcase their work to give us their feeling about the city. They arrived 1 week ago. It's their first time in India and in Mumbai, so a lot of inputs, I would say, for the work. And they started to work on the topic of the night and the island and many things that trigger the mind, because there is so many tales in such a city, as big as Mumbai, that it's for foreigners arriving, it's full of inputs. So I'm very pleased to introduce Bérénice and Charles from the French office at AWP. Thank you.
everybody. Thank you to invite us. We are very, very happy and proud to be here. My name is Bérénice Gentil. I'm a French architect. And I'm leading projects into AWP since 5 years. I'm also a teacher in architecture school in France, at Versailles and in Switzerland. And also I used to deal with the scientific research in Switzerland. And
me, I'm Charles Buscas. I work for the AWP office since 2 years. I also developed a collective structure. It was called Le Studio Jazz. It's an association with maybe between 5 and 10 architects, and we work also about large scale and how the city is growing up and how uses can change a master plan and give some inputs to develop by another way the city.
So AWP, it's AWP Office for Territorial Reconfiguration. It's a multidisciplinary agency. It's led by 3 associates. One, Alessandra Cianchetta, is a background of landscaper, but she's also an architect. We have also Marc Armongo, which is a philosopher, but he's also teaching in architecture school. He used to be my teacher and he's coming in 2 days. And also Mathias Armongo, which is an architect. So we are used to work with different disciplines and also different scale and time. The thing is, AWP is dealing with as a laboratory and project construction. So we call it in French recherche action, and it's really going from research to what could we do with this research. And the main thing AWP is doing is invisible architecture. That means like we have a lot of architects and everybody knows how to build, well or not, but to build. So our question is, what is architecture and build? So what is public space? What is dealing with public space without filling it, construction it? And how to deal with time. The time have a huge impact in public space. And so time, night, underground, everything that's void, everything that nobody wants to deal with, we are here to help. So we are known in Europe to do this kind of stuff. So we will, we'll present you 2 projects.
Yeah.
One is construct, but like could disappear also. And another one is more about tools we have to deal with urbanism. So I will show you first 5 minutes. So we are in Norway. We are in a little city called Sandnes. And so the name of the project is La Lanterne. In English, I think it's the Lanterne. So it was an international competition, and we had two inputs. First was the city has a space, but they don't know what to do with it, and they want people to talk about the city. And the other one was the fact that we have to use local wood. So we have a ground, and we want to speak about time, and we want to speak about different kind of using the public space. So we propose to make a shelter, but an open shelter, a transparent one, and use the wood. So we use the shape, the traditional shape we have in this city, and we propose to do an opener space. And we didn't want to have any really impact into the ground. We didn't want to do any step, any benches, just a roof, but it has to be a particular roof. And we wanted it as a landmark into the city, which could be seen by far away and which is welcoming. I think you know that Norway is could be a really cold city, but even if it's cold and even if it's night, people are used to going to the public space. So it's a shelter, and as you can see, there is quite nothing, but just enough to welcome marché, to welcome public. Sportive installation, art installation, cycling. So we did a ground which has the same kind of patterns as the shelter, and we did something looks like a tree, but it's not a tree. It's something like a canopy, but it's not a canopy. And we deal with light from outside to inside, but also at night from inside to outside. And it's been 10 years and it's still the same. This video has been done a few years ago, so we didn't have picture from the beginning. I mean, it's still working and clean. So this is a picture and kind of a drawing of the different layers we use. So the ground, the structure, the wood, and then the glass. Something we use to do the affiche. It's a new project we had. I mean, not new because you know architecture time. We won this competition 6 years ago. And we opened it like two months ago. So we have more pictures, but perhaps we can show it later. And okay, this is a project just about ground, which is open 2 weeks ago. Had opened 2 weeks ago. It's behind La Défense, and you will see that picture of it, but you will understand where it is really when Charles will present you the urbanist project we wanted to share.
So here we got a map of Paris and the suburb of Paris. It's a huge part of the work of the office. It's a perspective one. It's a research one about the night and how the city is going and function during the night. For this picture, sorry, we made an exhibition 3 years ago about Paris during the night since the beginning, and now we made also some walk during the night through the large territory. You can see on the airport, Roissy, Orly, and also the infrastructure.
One question about the night is, does the night is just a day without light, or do we use the public space and the infrastructure another way because it's the night, it's a different time, and people are not doing the same thing. Half of the population is sleeping, more than half. So we have time enough to rethink the city, to rebuild it, to change some things, and to discover some places. So that's why we are walking through city and at night, because it's like an invisible architecture also.
Here we get some other infrastructure. It's like a waste, and how we give water to the center of Paris. And here it's later we will talk about La Défense. It's a central business district, but it's also a slab, and we worked a lot about this kind of architecture because there are a lot of structure like this around Paris. And now we will show you some picture that can show you what is our question and where is the ground. So here we are. So 5 years ago, maybe 6, yeah, we won a competition to rethink about the La Défense Central District. Is near Paris. It's on the west side, and yeah, the client wanted to have a vision for the public area and for all the workers, inhabitants who lived here.
La Défense is the financial district of Paris. So you can see the tower, but there are also this question of the ground that we.
So
This is the Louvre. This is the Champs-Élysées. And you have the Seine River here. And so this is La Défense. La Défense, as it is a financial district, it's the public space is led by the state. It's different cities, but it's the state who asked us to work about this district. And so the shape in red you can see it's not a real shape, it's just the shape of the state impact.
Another view. So here we can see the layers of this space and this site. We got all these towers and some public area, but we don't see yet where is the ground of if it's natural or if it's not. So firstly, we made a lot of data and research to understand what was it, and we deal with the visible and the invisible too. So in the development of La Défense since the 60s to now, so this building has 60 years.
So it has been built during years, and we don't have any maps of it. So even he didn't know what he wanted to do, but he wanted to do something to improve the day life of the commuters, of the workers, and of the citizens.
And this is the row of the slab and the architectural building. So you can see on the down some car parks, and there is inhabitant housing. In 70s there are more buildings and all of the slab. So it begins to be more complicated.
It's come from part of Le Corbusier thinking, the fact to divided the spaces for the cars and for the metro to the workers' part. So that's why we have to work with underground, which is not really underground because it's a building, and up this building until the beginning of the towers.
So the non-stop city began, and they clean all the public area, or they clean.
It was a slum before.
And they put cars under the ground. On some details.
So this was the kind of maps we had, like.
JPEG. So
then there is a car. This is where a car could go. They are able to go inside from outside, but they cannot. They can go underneath, but really underneath. And this delimited. It's the border of La Défense. So when the border is down, it's like Paris with the peripheric. You cannot grow much, so you have to go higher. And it's still in construction. Every day there is a new tower and new buildings. Those are actual pictures. It's also an open air exhibition. You have a lot of contemporary art you can see under the ground with those kind of ceramic, and before the thing with the glass and mirror. So if you have to take a bus, you have to go underneath in this area. It's strange for workers who has to go also up to the tower and have a beautiful view. So we have to deal with this in between. And there is also empty spaces.
And no spaces. The client didn't know this space. It was created to accept a new line of transport, but it never came. Or it's an atelier?
A workshop space for artists. So it's kind of a monster. We have to daunt it, to understand it, then to become friends. That's why we put lions. So to organize our thoughts, first we had to make a diagnostic, and the diagnostic is up and upper and below the ground, and we made a diagnostic with different themes, with 10 themes as time, as nature, as light, culture, and then we say, okay, we have to ask the question, or too many questions, but one or two. And the name of this general program is Toward a Climate, because as it's kind of a building and it's a windy one, we have to understand toward what we want to go and which kind of climate. And then we had a key plan, a huge key plan, and as we made a diagnostic with different layers of thematic, we did the same with the key plan and different thematic. And those are kind of benchmark of what we could do. And then you have the fourth phases, which is different zoom of the different neighborhood which made La Défense. And in each kind of those books, we are dividing it and dealing with time and other things we will show you. And then at the end, when we finished, it was a 5 years study. So it was, that's why we began 5 years ago, but it's like it has been finished. It's not finished anymore, and, because the fifth phases is about, now they have all those information, we have to help them to use it. So when there is some competition, we are here. When they can call us anytime and ask questions about what could we do with this or that.
So maybe we had a protocol to understand the slab and the neighborhood. So we wanted to go on the top of the public space and also in the different layers. So we make some walk to the city, to the center of this site, and we made a lot of walk through it with different people, some inhabitants, workers, or clients also, and we wanted to ask them what was their feeling about it, if it's cool, dirty, safe, or ugly. And we had a lot of
so each time is up and down, because every time we have to ask ourselves, do we want to link up and down, or do we have to separate it?
So we produced a lot of data.
And it has to be understood data, so we have to make it kind of pretty. Because it's study, but it's also speaking with client needs. We still are architect and urbanists. We are not like engineer and finding a solution. We are really questioning and helping people to understand the question they want to ask. They have something, but they don't know what it is. So they ask us to help them to go forward.
So here, all the layers we did to understand. Here's some public area. Here's some materiality of the ground and the sourcescape, the footbridge, the access.
And there is two ways to understand this area. It could be pictures from above and below, but it's also 3D model. We have to deal with axonometric drawings.
And it's also a question of time. This area works 24 hours by 24 hours, but the client didn't believe it. So by where we start? there is also a roof and a ground, and in between there is so many layers, levels. So we try to add all the drawing we sent to us, and we try to add it and make a plan or a view.
So this is an axonometric view, and this is the underground. We erase the tower, we erase the layer which you can walk on, and let's see what's inside. It's kind of those things which we can use to say to the client, it's enormous what you ask. You don't know what it is, and we are trying still to know what it is. And now that everything is changing, this kind of studying has to be forever.
It's not already a project, but maybe yes.
So this was about the question of Le Corbusier and like sliding different action and activities. So is it a building with a roof, or is it an infrastructure? So this is a reference in Europe. We have to ask questions to the clients, and we have to use references from outside, references they knew well, to be able to share with us what we think about. Like, it's not just word. With word you can say a lot of things, but you can lose people. And with pictures it's easier to make them to compare and to make understand our question.
So here's the monster with all layers on. So
Let's dump it.
So we worked with 4 axes. The first one is the mobility, so where logistics go and where we can have access to this kind of mobility. Yeah. The historical axis at the center one. Because in this axis there is no straight. You have so many layers at different levels, so it's quite hard to understand where you are and where you want to go.
And in this big landmark, the axis is this historic axis is the landmark of the landmark. If you know you are on this axis, you know where you are. But now that this building has been done, redone and rebuilt, we don't know where is this axis. So one of the 4 main goals was to remark this axis above and underground.
The third one is to rebuild the domain of the building, more spaces at the border of the slab to reprogram, to reconfigure this slab and find spaces to office or
Yes, as the economy has changed and as we have a lot of startups, La Défense is done for a big, huge firm in those big towers, but perhaps the new firm, the little one, the startup one, could have spaces for them also in this building, so we find spaces.
And the last one is nature invasion, and it's talk about how the nature could go on this artificial ground. So here's the Défense, here's the slab, and here's the same axis we developed to talk to the zone.
Nightlife.
And here it's more about time and how all we are saying could go and make it happen. So by time we can complete it some small pieces, and it's about accumulation things and not a huge plan.
That's why we try not to use master plan as a word, because master plans say, okay, it's kind of a zoning plan, saying, okay, here you have to do this in this time. We are trying to speak with key plan, because key plan is with a lot of information in it, and that means that it's not saying you should do that or that, but if you do that, it will have an impact of this and those. So you have to choose when you want to do it, but you have to know which impact it will have.
It's more unstable also.
So then to make people understand, we make without any project, just before and after, what could it be if we rethink the public space through the 4 axes we had.
Because the client had a lot of money and they wanted to make a lot of movies, pictures, models, everything we wanted. And it's not
So
often.
now let's play with the lion. So this is the sketch of La Défense. We already spoke about the different zone and the different up and down. And so the key plan was a plan made with 3 colors. One color is the gray, and let's say it's the basic we have to keep. The blue one is we have to keep it, but we can improve this area. And the yellow one is, okay, let's do some projects here. Let's make some competition in the yellow area. So this make this plan, and so, okay, up and down. And then let's make different zoom, and we will explain when. So do you have to do it in 3 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? And what are the areas you should put in competition? So these are extracts of the book we made.
Here, it's some rock or some transect, some section through the La Défense, and it's showing how the intensity of the public area. When sometimes you have to walk, sometimes you have to wait, sometimes you have to hit, or sometimes you have to do nothing. It shows also the intensity of the many spaces we got in La Défense.
Those are the thematic we spoke about, so signalétique, ground, public space, infrastructure, cultural public space, time, logistics, security, sustainable development, and so on. So those are the inside of the book. Okay, we are for this work we work with engineers also, and other architects. We were working with HHF, which is a Swiss agency, and we were working also with light engineer, fluid engineer, and this is it. So now we are friends with the lion. We could do 2 things now. Either we can show you the last building we made, or we can let you ask questions, as you like. Okay, one more project. Thank you. I will go through what you already saw. Those are our kind of drawing we are doing, and everybody at the agency is doing everything. I mean, I can do architecture, and I also can do design or land art. So the name of this project is Poissy-Galore. It's in Poissy. Poissy is close to Paris, but it's like 30 minutes metro or more, one hour. So to deal with the site work, it was kind of hard to be in those kind of... okay, so it was Poissy, and Poissy is a residential area, and it's close to La Seine, and so the client had a big park, and they want to open it. So before it was not a park, it was just a place. Like, they don't know what it is. There is some vegetation and so on, but so they asked EWP, what could we do with this piece of land? And let's say it could be a park for the region, so it's a huge one. And here we were more into urbanism, but also architect, and we didn't do the landscape. It was...
Yeah, it's a landscape office, but in Paris. And we can't build on this site because when the sands grow up, all the land are under the water.
So you can see the residential area, and this is a park. And in front of it, it's still Poissy, and you can see the Corbusier house.
Villa Savoie.
Villa Savoie. So still the Corbusier is everywhere, also in Paris. So, as we are architects, we have to draw the land and to draw the area to understand it. Doing all those square shape, it's a way for us to understand where we are, what is the urban fabric, and how do you deal with a urban fabric toward a public space. It will not be the same if the density is high or low, and what are the streets and how the street is going to the park, to know where people will go and when do they go and what is the time of the frame, where do people will go at what time, and what do we want to do with this park. Is it a weekend park, or is it a night park, or is it a day park? I don't know which picture is after, but it's a huge one. So the main question was the water, and it was to organize the ground. But we do not have to organize the ground, as we will be architect, but it was a question which kind of intensity we want to put in the landscape of their landscaper. So this is Agence Terre kind of things which have been done in Poissy. This is Villa Savoie. And let's say EWP like night, and this is a folie in Versailles. I don't know if you know what folie means or could means, yes? So it's a place which could be a landmark, but it's also something which attracts people and make them do something and then they go away. So what we wanted to do is to do contemporary folie. We didn't want to do Versailles, but what could be a folie for the 21st century? With this question of water. The water come, move the building and then go away, and this is it. So we have all those references in mind, like see the water, be up to the water. So as for sandness, we take a really random shape that everybody knows. And with this kind of shape, we develop a language to deal with different kind of views you can have in a public space, in a park. So this one is about going up and see the land. This one I think is a guinguette. A guinguette is a place where you can eat and drink close to the water. This one, I don't know, it could be, it's to enjoy and to play with kids playing, but also adults. So at the beginning we make it not too strong. So those are the construction picture, and as you can see, it's a wood project, and from outside it's welcoming with the light, but it's not totally open. You cannot see what is inside, and when you are outside, when you are inside, you will be able to see it. So we use Claustra kind of construction. So these are wood really stick to one another, so you cannot see inside. And behind this wood, you have a big window. So from outside you cannot see inside, but from inside you can see outside. As I said, is the welcoming building of the park, so it has to be welcoming. So it's open air and light. We have a lot of pictures. Okay, this was before the scenography came. So we have to put flowers to show it's a greenhouse, otherwise normally it's just butterfly. And those kind of pictures show how we are using woods and also how we are using the shape we deal with. So the shape is kind of the same than you have in La Lanterne, but as it's a bigger space, we didn't want to just rescaling the shape, but we wanted to complicate it. So we have the structure, and each time a shape is embracing another shape, we have to understand where do we want to put those beams. So we had to work really closely with the engineer. This is Poissy, with the residential area. This is a welcoming, let's say, folie. And we made another one which is here, and the name is the Observatory. I think we have a picture of it. And the Observatory is more speaking about kind of nothing. I mean, it's an observatory, so it has to show what's happened all around, but it's also about emptiness, because if we put some purpose in the top of the observatory, so it has to be handicapped building, and as you will see, it's a very light building. We didn't want to put any elevator or nothing, so it's like what AWP is used to do, like a building from nothing. So yes, you will see the building in real picture. So this kind of picture is a render made to win. And again, we are working with models and engineering. So this one is really unstable, and we had a lot of talk with the firemen and the clients to know how far we are able to be really light and still safe. This is also a project we made with HHF, the Swiss agency we work with for La Défense. And as they are in Switzerland, we did the construction, we made the idea all together, and Then we divide it for the technical part into suites and funds, and then we deal with the construction. And so the museum could be closed because it's a museum, so you have a door. So even if there's nothing inside, you can close the door. Here, as it's an observatory, there is no door, and the park all around have not been totally finished, so there is no light. And so there is something, and there is no light, and we are in Poissy, in the suburbs, so people are enjoying having something, but young people are very happy to have a shelter to, I don't know, let's say smoke or laugh. And so the thing which was a bit hard is to be able to say to the client, it's finished, because each time we wanted to say that, it was part of destroyed by the young. So at the beginning we didn't have this kind of fences you can see, but the enterprise who is doing the building, like they rebuild, not totally rebuild, but redo all the wood spaces 3 times. And at the 3rd time they say, please, AWP, could you accept that we will put fences just for 1 week to be sure that we will be able to show to the client it's finished. Then we will erase those fences, and whatever happens, but we don't care. So those pictures are with the fences. But as we are a young practice and we understand, we wanted the building to be inhabited by the inhabitants, we were not totally against people going in and making some drawings. So those are the different seasons in France. Here you are in autumn. This is not a chronological picture. So those are the beautiful drawings we had. And happily it was black and white and a bit of blue, and we asked the young, please do not use red because we don't like red, so you can continue but just with black. And they kind of did it. This is it. Please do not hesitate to ask questions.
Does anybody have any questions?
Thanks. Thank you for that very interesting presentation. I was just very curious about also the title of your talk, the idea of the invisible and the modern. And I was wondering whether you'd like to talk a little bit more about that.
Okay, it's about invisible architecture, and modern deals with slab and underground. So those are 2 topics we like to speak about. It's also a book we published 1 month ago for the Chicago Biennale. And do you have it? And we used those studies we presented at Chicago Biennale for Sassoon project. So we wanted to show a building in the back. We wanted to say we want to speak about invisible architecture and modern architecture.
Because I found what was very interesting was in the second project, the making visible of what is invisible in modern architecture is that usually it's the services or what's below ground that are considered to be something that the served spaces, so they are not as important as the important spaces. But it seems as if in all the three projects, there is the making of the visible, or what is considered to be something that is supposed to be, invisible in modern architecture. Yeah. It looks like a really beautiful book. You should get a copy. Yeah.
It's for you.
Oh, thank you. Yes. Thank you. Are there any other questions? Sani?
Okay, we are an office with 15 people. You can ask a question, it was just to introduce more of you. Yeah, do not be shy, we were at your places like, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe 10.
Hello. This is regarding your first project, the glass shelter. So could you just explain us the context a little bit, like you just showed us that video. I want to know how the space changed after the structure was built. Like, was it the material that actually encouraged interaction between people over there? And also, when I saw the video, I thought you have raised the plinth a little bit for that structure. So was it intentional so that what happens to the vehicular traffic on the street? And also that structure is placed very close to one of the buildings. So how do those buildings respond to your structure?
Okay, there is a lot of questions in this question, so I will try to answer. The context is the city, and the city is owning the ground. So this is first. Second, they wanted us to work with wood, so we have to work with wood enterprise. And the third one is, as you are working in Norway, you have to work with another agency. So, sorry, my mistake. We work with that. So in this installation, the room we are doing in Sassoon, there is the question about these big drawings, and also we are collecting information about night. So we are doing comics, we are stamping on the wall, and it will be ready like in 2 days. And also there is a wall saying all the work we are doing in AWP. So 2 things, first an artistic drawing, and another one is the work. So we still don't have finished the installation, and even when we will be in Paris, back in Paris on Sunday, the installation will be not totally finished because it's still in progress.
Anyone else? Everyone seems kind of zoned right now.
Thank you so much.
Thank you all.